Oh, just to say before the video, I did just miss out Fulham, and I'll just say now, I was 2 places off. I said they'll get 20th, and they got 18th.
What's up, guys? It's Daniel here from Daniel Techers, and yes, I know it's been a long time. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads, but I was just too busy celebrating Chelsea winning the Champions League. So today, the videos are back. I'm going to react to my Premier League predictions. I know the Premier League finished about 2 weeks ago, but let's just get into it. You're probably going to laugh at a few, and you're probably going to think, well, Daniel was right here. So let's get into the video. Let's start in alphabetical order. So alphabetical order first was Arsenal. I said they would finish 5th. They ended up finishing 8th. I think it is their worst season. It's their first time out of Europe since before Wenger. So all those Arsenal fans that wanted Wenger to go, look what's happened since Wenger's gone. They've got worse. It was 3 places off. I thought William would do a bit better. I thought they would do better. But Aubameyang was out of form. William was out of form for the whole season. Remember, Arsenal fans were saying thanks to Chelsea for stealing our best player. I mean, he wasn't a best player for a start, and they were saying, oh my god, thanks. And then he got another 3 assists for the rest of the whole season and 1 goal against bloody West Brom, which wasn't even a proper goal because it's a free kick. So let's get on to Aston Villa. So on to Villa now. So I predicted them to finish 15th, but they finished 11th. So they were actually close to getting a European spot at one stage, but then their form dipped. Grealish got injured, and I think that harmed them a lot. Traore has been a decent-ish player for them. I know he hasn't been very consistent, but he scored some big goals for them. In games also they had Ross Barkley, but he started off well and then he just got injured and it went really far downhill after Barkley. I think after he scored that goal against Leicester it just went downhill. But 4 places off with Villa, so let's get on to Brighton. This is probably my closest prediction so far. I had Brighton to finish 14th when they ended up finishing 16th, but you know, if they had a clinical striker they'd probably actually finish above 15th in my opinion. I thought they had a decent end to the season. There's a part when they almost went down. But the tactics of Graham Potter's been very good this season. But they only just stayed up, really. They ended up finishing 16th. On to Burnley. So this is my worst prediction yet. I put Burnley to finish 11th. They ended up finishing 17th. You know, at the start of the season, they were very, very bad. I thought they could have got relegated. I think they had injuries in their defence. They were very, very poor. And at the end of the season, they were poor as Nick Pope was out. I think it was a knee injury, which is pretty bad for Burnley because he's a fantastic goalkeeper. And he ended up missing the Euro squad, which is unfortunate for him. I think he had a fantastic season. 6th place off this one. This is my worst one yet, but there'll be worse coming up. Let's get on to Chelsea. Now, we're on to my team. Chelsea, the champions of Europe. So, my prediction at the start of the season, I thought we'd get 3rd, but we ended up getting 4th. But we did bottle it towards the end of the season against Arsenal and against Villa. And in a few other games, we just drawn 0-0 and we couldn't take our chances, which is unfortunate. Which just happened for the whole season, really. I mean, up to December when we were actually banging, we were top of the league after we beat Leeds. And I thought, oh yeah, we could have a chance of winning the league. But then from there, the form dipped. Lampard got sacked in January. I think I was pretty close to this one. Thomas Tuchel came in, won us the Champions League. Hopefully he can do better, but we just never know really what comes for Chelsea. But let's get on to who I had. Palace. So for Palace, I predict them to be 17th. I thought they would have a poor season. This was, I thought, would be that Zaha would leave, but they ended up finishing 4th and they had a solid season in the end at Roy Hodgson's last season. Eze has been fantastic for them, but unfortunately towards the end he got injured. He could probably be the one to take the reins over from Zaha when Zaha leaves. I have a feeling he will leave this summer. But I was 3 places off with this one, so I was pretty close to this one, but it was pretty wrong. So let's get on to Everton. So with Everton, I was pretty close to this one. Don Carlo was their manager, but unfortunately he's gone back to Madrid, really. Because I thought he would be a very good manager for them. He's a great manager. And when he was at Chelsea, he was a fantastic manager, but I thought he would stay. And I thought at one time they would probably get Europa League. But then they had a very bad patchy form towards the end of the season. I think their goal difference was like -4. For someone in the top 10, I'm surprised about that. Because normally in the top 10, they have a positive goal difference. But they were top of the league for a part, getting 10th, which is very bad for them. I was only 1 place off with 9th, but I thought Don Carlo would do a lot better. Let's get on to Leeds. So now on to Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds. I thought they would get 12th. I was only 3 places off. They got 9th in the end, but they had a fantastic end to the season. It was pretty close to them. They had a fantastic season. Bielsa is a fantastic manager. I think he was probably 2nd for me as one of the managers of the season, in my opinion, because he was unexpected. I knew Leeds were definitely going to stay up, but I didn't think they would be as high up in the top 10 as everyone thought they would be. Because I was close to this one. I was only 3 off, but let's get on to Leicester City. So I'm on to Leicester now. This is another very close one. I said Leicester would get 7th. They ended up getting 5th. But they would have definitely got in the top 4 if they had that much squad depth after all those injuries that they had for a while. They had a load of players that were out for a long, long time, unfortunately, for Leicester. But if they had that squad depth, which they've been linked with to get great players this summer, I think they would definitely get top 4. But they only just bottled it at the end. It's good for them than winning the FA Cup. I think I can see them getting top 4 next season if they just need to strengthen in areas where they just don't have that much players. Let's get on to Liverpool now. So, for Liverpool, I predicted them to get second. They ended up finishing third, so that was only one off here. But they had so many injuries, just as well as Leicester. But I think they could have actually secured second place if they had Van Dijk and all those injuries that they had for a really, really long time, which definitely affected them. Ended up getting third. They managed to claw it back in the last 5 games, which they won a great run in the end. But I knew they wouldn't retain the title. I thought they'd get second, and they ended up getting third. So this is another very close prediction. They only just snagged into top form just above Chelsea. Let's get on to Manchester City. So on to Man City now. I thought they would get first, which was correct. They actually got first. They won the league. Well done for Man City. They also won the League Cup against Spurs. I mean, of course they're going to beat Spurs. They're just miles ahead of Spurs, really. So they managed to win the league. Of course they were. Fantastic season for them. Ended up finishing first, which is good, but they bottled the Champions League final, which is their only trophy that they really need to become that big club which they are. Let's get on to Manchester United. So on to Manchester United. I thought they would get fourth. I thought they wouldn't have that good of a season, but they ended up getting second, which is actually very good for them. I think Solskjaer's been a bit underrated this season. I remember maybe November, December time, a lot of Man United fans calling for Ollie to go out, but he didn't. He's got them second and he got into the Europa League final. Unfortunately, they bottled it, but it's 50-50 in a penalty shootout, really. So on their day, they would have won it, but there's only 2 places off with this one. This is another really close one, but it was wrong. But let's get on to Newcastle. So on to Newcastle. So there's only 1 place off for this one. I predicted them to be 13th, but they ended up finishing 12th. They had a great end to the season. I mean, at the middle part of the season, they got 2 wins in 20 games, which was really poor for them. I thought Wilson would probably have carried them, but nah. They managed to bring in Joe Willock, which was actually a masterstroke of a signing in January. It was a fantastic signing by them. I think Joe Willock is the only player apart from Alan Shearer to score seven goals in 7 games for Newcastle in a row. A lot of Newcastle fans expected them to go down and they would think, oh, Bruce out. But they managed to claw themselves back out of there and they managed to finish 12th, which is actually a decent end to the season for them. Let's get on to United. So far, this is definitely my worst prediction. So I had Sheffield United to finish in 10th, but they ended up having a very poor season, ended up 20th. I don't think a lot of people predict them to get 20th in the poor season that they had, but they were fantastic last year, but they did struggle without the fans at the end of last season, and for pretty much the whole season this time, but they need to focus on a manager. I think they're getting that former FULHAM manager, that's Zlatkovic, but this is my worst prediction yet. I was 10 places off for this one, but I don't think anyone predicted them to have as bad of a season as they did. But let's get on to Southampton. So on to Southampton now. I thought they would get 16th and they ended up finishing 15th. So there's only 1 place off for this one, but they had a very fantastic start to the season. That it definitely fell off a cliff towards the middle part and the end part of the season. But they finished 15th. Need to improve now. Hassan was a fantastic manager, but they're just going really far out of form, really. But now they finish in 15th, which is an okay thing for Southampton. Let's get on to Tottenham. On to Tottenham now. I predicted them to get 6th when they ended up finishing 7th. Mourinho, I think I did say at the start of the season, I thought Mourinho gets sacked. I said by January, February time. But they ended up finishing 7th in the end. They got into the European Conference League just above Arsenal, but they both had poor seasons, the other 2 London clubs. But not the best London club, because the best London club won the Champions League. But then I thought they would get 6th, but they ended up finishing 7th in the end. I thought they would sneak into that Europa League spot. They really need to get rid of Levy, because he is just and they bottled in getting Conte, which was pretty funny to see, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who they get for next season. But let's get on to West Brom. So on to West Brom now. I predicted them 19th, and they finished 19th. Big Sam finally got a team relegated. Because I think I said in the video, I think if they brought him in before, they would have probably stayed up. But they just had really bad players in defence and attack. Really, their best part was probably their midfield. They had Maitland-Niles, they had Conor Gallagher. They had a few decent players in midfield, but in their attack, they're just poor. I mean, I got another one right. This is 2 out of 18 at the moment. I wonder how many more I'll get right, but let's get on to West Ham. So this is definitely my worst prediction of the video. So I said West Ham would finish 18th when they ended up getting 6th. I mean, I don't think everyone would predict that, oh yeah, West Ham going to get top 10. I think West Ham fans actually lost hope. But they ended up getting 6th. I was 12 places off for this one. This is definitely my worst prediction of the video. So let's get on to the final team, Wolves. On to Wolves now. I predict them to get 8th and they ended up finishing 13th, which is a very bad season for them. Nuno's left. I wonder, it's going to be weird seeing Nuno not be a manager of Wolves next year. I think they're getting this Bruno guy, and I can't remember his name. I thought Wolves would just sneak out of the Europa League place, but unfortunately for them, they've ended up finishing 13th. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. See ya!